and production that happens in India is a combination of 1,000 factors. And productivity is the result of 500 more. And that is why in all of these, there still remains questions that are so basic that probably even after 20 years of education at schools, colleges, and the best universities of the world, a lot of people still might not be able to answer. Though it is the oldest industry known to mankind. It is the oldest industry in the world. It has put food on the table. It has developed human civilizations. And yet, we have so little to know about agriculture. Something that surprised me was the massive turnout of all you young people in this field, in agriculture particularly. For example, do you know which is the first animal to get domesticated? Which one? Cows, dogs, sheep, horse. I heard lion somewhere. I also heard a lion. Do you know which one? Wolf. The first ever animal to get domesticated was 300 years before we understood that we could domesticate dogs. And they were goats. They were goats. In the last everlanding field of agriculture, every single time there's an excavation in the middle of Egypt or at Mohenjo-daro or at Harappa, there is a new information that comes about that Indians were so advanced in doing their agriculture that we were probably 800 years more advanced than all other civilizations on the planet. Something that was impeccable in one of your presentations yesterday was the lunar phase farming calendars. The interesting part about it is, it has been one of the oldest traditional farming methods to understand what kind of moisture, what kind of tidal levels, sea levels, the possibility of floods could arise by the waxing and waning phases of the moon. Agriculture has been that industry in which 3 times a day you have your meals, 7 times a day you dream about McDonald's burgers, 8 times a day you dream about maa ke haath ka khana, and you still have so little to know about it that most of your Google searches would never turn up with agriculture. But to see all of you sitting here and talking about the backbone of every country's economy, which is directly related to agriculture. If you say no, probably things like Ministry of Steel is not concerned with agriculture. Everyone sitting and discussing about agriculture or steel is still having the food that is produced by agriculture. So in a way, every single person sitting here is directly related to that field that puts food on our table and has been putting the best of the best, the healthiest of the healthiest for the last 800 years of organized agriculture in the world. Okay? So that's what the presentation is about. Now, she will take over, talk about what we are going to present. It's been a culmination of all your ideas. Over the last 1 month, we have taken all of those ideas, put them together, and there we will have an extrapolation of all those ideas that have seemed dear to us. Yeah?
Thank you, Dishant, for such a wonderful start. Good morning, everyone. Namaste. I am Niyati Bajpai, and I'll start the presentation quoting Mahatma Gandhi. He mentioned that कृषि ही हमारी आधारित और महत्वपूर्ण संपत्ति है, meaning agriculture is our foundation and the most important wealth. As we envision a Viksit Bharat by 2047, enhancing agricultural productivity is a cornerstone of our journey. Let's first take a look at where we stand today. Imagine a farmer standing in the middle of the field, surrounded by a landscape of both challenges and opportunities. Over the past decade, our government has committed to uplifting farmers in ways that weren't possible before. One of the most significant steps was the contribution of over around 18 lakh crore, a minimum support price, ensuring that farmers are paid fairly for their crops. For more than 9 crore as farmers, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi has been a lifeline, transferring around 3 lakh crore directly to their accounts, providing them with much needed financial support. But it's not just about financial assistance. Technology is transforming the way farmers approach agriculture. Across the country, over 1,400 electronic national agricultural market mandis have been integrated, offering farmers access to a wider market and better prices. The government has also provided subsidies for Kisan drones, helping farmers use advanced technology to monitor their fields and increase productivity. On the ground, we have automatic weather stations, the AWS, and automatic rain gauges, ARGs, deployed at local levels, giving farmers real-time weather information, which is crucial for making timely decisions. Sustainability is at the heart of the agriculture vision. Over 83 lakh hectares of land are now benefiting from micro-irrigation systems, making water used more efficiently, and at the same time, somewhere around 800 crore has been invested in millet-based food production, with units under the Production Link Incentives scheme supporting sustainable farming. With 24 crore soil health cards issued, our farmers are receiving guidance on how to improve soil health and boost their crop yields for the long term. But despite the progress, the path ahead is not without hurdles. One of the most pressing challenges that we face is soil degradation. Over 30% of India's soil has degraded, primarily due to over-reliance on chemical fertilizers and monocropping practices. This has compromised the very foundation of the agriculture industry, that is soil. Water scarcity is another critical issue. Our groundwater levels are depleting rapidly, and according to Niti Aayog, 21 major cities are expecting the face of severe water shortage in 2025. In agricultural context, this means that many farmers are struggling to maintain their farms, crops with limited water resources, which could undermine food security. Then there are massive post-harvest losses we experience every year. India loses approximately somewhere around 92,000 crore annually due to inadequate storage facilities and fractured supply chain. While farmers work hard to grow their crops, they often face the unfortunate reality of their produce going to waste because it cannot be stored or transported efficiently. Finally, we cannot ignore the challenges faced by our smallholder farmers. Over 86% of India's farmers own less than 2 hectares of land, which limits their ability to invest in modern technology or adopt to the new advanced farming practices. This creates a cycle where smallholders remain trapped in low productive farming, making it difficult to increase their income and improve their standard of living. The road to a Viksit Bharat is filled with both promises and challenges. These issues, with innovation, collaboration, and dedication, we will build a sustainable agricultural future for generations to come.
Thank you. With respect to all the challenges, all the data that you saw, everything has posed directly into those 4 root problems of what we have seen as challenges: soil degradation, scarcity of water, inability to adapt to new technologies, traditional farming methods, incorrupt agricultural practices, move to new technologies and agricultural adaptations. They have been extremely difficult in order to create a sense of a new type of farming and agriculture that could imbibe both traditional knowledge of Indian farmers, combine it with postmodern techniques of agricultural practices. So something that we have put together is all your ideas, that things that we really stood out, for us, things that actually made a difference. They were viable, they were feasible, and they were practical. One of them is the Farmer First Bharat. Something that came across to me about this was interesting because of the digital platform for international trade on agricultural exports, making it easier because the farmer can't get to international markets. Bringing the international markets to the farmers is much more feasible for us. So every single policy was a farmer-first directive policy that could be created under this. Public-private partnerships, soil health and monitoring kiosks. The soil health card scheme is something that all of you spoke about, something that requires that is continuous testing of the fertility of the soil, the condition, the health of the soil on a daily basis. That's what improves the efficiency and the efficacy of agriculture. Affordable equipment and leasing facilities, being able to give equipments to farmers at much more cheaper and affordable rates. Something that really stood out yesterday was the agri-water credit scheme. Something that really stood out was the fact that water scarcity is directly combated with the fact that there should be a reward system and incentivization of saving as much water as possible. The acquisition of flow meters of IoT, ML, and LLM models to create this in a much more accurate, involve artificial intelligence, and create a bigger difference in agri-water credit schemes is something that was impeccable to us to see as an idea. Agri-boots, providing continuous mission-driven technological platforms, learning, teaching, advancing technological use in agricultural farming methods as a part of the agri-boots. Integration and revival of Indian knowledge systems, for example, the lunar farming, the lunar phasing and farming calendars that I spoke about. Using traditional methods, combining them with newer postmodern techniques is something that stood out for us yesterday. Biogreen circular economies. This term was very widely used as a part of how many processes can actually yield more and more profits to the farmers and do parallel farming, parallel agricultural methods for time being and create more profits, create more circular economies, create a self-sustaining ecosystem of an agricultural produce. Link farmers with markets, create better trade systems, create better exposure for Indian farmers, bring out organic farming methods, indigenous goods. Something that stood out for us again was the one district, one product model, things that could be put up as a part to prevent market volatility, set prices for single individuals, create a community of farmers that cater to one specific product, build farmer unions. Next. Sustainable and organic farming agroecological practices. This included something that you guys spoke at length about vertical farming, terrace farming, urban agriculture, things that could be a small step towards the betterment of agriculture, not only solving their issues, but also creating a diverse set of ecological systems that could run by themselves. Mental health support for farmers. It was an excellent idea put by the team yesterday. We're very happy about it, that the concentration of what is happening with almost 50% of the workforce that's there of the country, and there's no mental health support for them. The things that they go through, the advancements that they need, the technology that they need. Because one thing that you always hear about is the debt, the troubles that our farmers are going through. Creating that space for them, creating an environment where that is considered important, I believe is a massive step that this team has taken. That is something we really like as a part of that. Blockchain and supply chain management was another inclusion of technology, of AI, of ML, of LLMs into a part of creating better technological infrastructure for our farmers. All the apps that you guys had suggested was incredibly wonderful. Permaculture and multi-layer farming was something that again stood out for us. Creating these solutions was very much feasible. It's not that expensive. It is something that all farmers can be taught to do, can be done in multiple ways, can be taught to a lot of farmers across the country, does not require specific climatic zones, is very feasible across climatic zones of the country. So that's something that really stood out for us. Next. Impact. What we wanted to see is one of the criteria that we wanted to look at is that of the ideas that you had for a Viksit Bharat of 2047, what are these things that could immediately have an impact and lead us through that drive? It's a long journey to 2047, but it all starts with a small step in those. Assessing the impact of what you have done and given and presented as an idea was a very difficult task. But some of them were so revolutionary, I felt that it could change and revolutionize not just India's agricultural practices, but the world's at large. And that is why, being the second highest exporter in so many things that we see as an indigenous practice, and being one of the highest exporters of agricultural produces, is something that could be created and manifested for the last 200 years of Indian existence in terms of agricultural practices that have kept on advancing. The revolutions that have happened, all of them came down to one point. If it is impactful enough to create that journey for us that could lead us to 2047 for a Viksit Bharat. One thing that we saw was sustainable livestock health and production. Creating that environment where livestock, cattle, and everything that's included within it actually has been kept in safe health conditions, is actually giving more productivity to agricultural fields, and is creating more and more output for the farmers. Farmers Producers Organization, this is something a few of the teams had come in with a lot of ideas. Farmer Producer Organization is giving them that power, that union, that community, in order for farmers to get together, create more sustainable revolutions in India, boost Indian agriculture. Post-harvest management facilities, like a lot of you had suggested, cold storage facilities, particularly the team that had spoken about what kind of crops to be used, what is the quality, what is the quantity that you can keep in cold storage facilities, along with that with the PPP model of cold storage facilities, the lack of financial dispenses to actually take on that, giving a solution to that financial expenses that would be borne by the farmers, dividing it between the farmer, the government, and the private sector was an amazing idea for us as well. Introducing AI and big data, this is something that all of you had already given. Agricultural cooperatives like the FPOs and other community unions that could be targeted in order to create a sustainable impact on Indian farming and traditional practices would be revolutionary in itself. Next. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the ideas that you have created, you have brought about, if they landed up here, you have done wonderful. If it did not, it's because we have condensed all of those ideas. Every idea was impactful, every idea was excellent, every idea was absolute. We could condense it because we had less time to present it. I wish I could present all of your ideas and tell you all of you did an exceptionally wonderful job. Due to the paucity of time, we had to condense them into smaller paragraphs. I know it does not do justice to what you guys have put in, the hard work that you guys have put in, the work that you guys have done. I know it does not do justice to that, but still, the presentation is a testament to all those efforts of all you young people who are interested in the oldest industry in the world. So thank you so much for all your efforts. Thank you so much.
Big thanks to Mr. Dishant Rajshekhar and Ms. Niyati Bajpai for incorporating the impactful and innovative solutions brought forth by our youth into the greater weave of this event. Many thanks for giving us some serious knowledge, signaling a shift towards youth-oriented innovations to enhance agricultural productivity. Esteemed domain experts, distinguished mentors, vibrant participants and valued guests. Once again, welcome to day one of this colossal deliberation, the Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue. Here we are now set to explore and deliberate the amazing innovative measures of Bharat's youth centered on enhancing agricultural productivity. So, as you know, the outstanding ideas presented the day before got carefully reviewed and acknowledged by our esteemed mentors, and these ideas now got presented before the domain experts. Here, the experts will help level up the concept with their insights and expertise, and then it moves to the big stage. Here is the ultimate flex. Finally, getting presented before none other than the most honorable Prime Minister of the nation. Now, that's the most awaited moment. We are honored to have such a distinguished panel of domain experts, vibrant mentors, and amazing participants under one roof, united by the shared vision to empower and revolutionize agriculture productivity of Bharat. What makes the day more engaging is the presence of top-tier domain experts who will provide valuable insights and refine our ideas. So together, they will guide us to deliberate and take your brilliant concept to the next level to make it shine better on the big show. So let's get ready for an inspiring showcase of innovation coupled with expertise. Before that, it gives us immense pleasure to hear from each of you, and I invite Mr. Ashish Mishra, co-founder of Krishi Network, to felicitate. So please give a loud round of applause and let's welcome him. Thank you.
Hello everyone, can you guys hear me at the back? Can I get a sense of audience first? Like, how many of you are in college? Oh, all of you. How many of you have built an app or a startup or in the program? Okay, 1, 2, 3, okay. I see a few hands. How many of you are comfortable with Hindi? Can you raise hands? Okay. Okay. All right. So I'll start with my background first. I come from a town near Agra in UP. I did my schooling there and then went to IIT Kharagpur in 2009 I graduated. I'm a computer science graduate. I had nothing to do with agriculture. And even my parents, like my father is not a farmer. We have some land, but nobody does farming in my family. And after graduating from IIT, I was doing all technology jobs, mostly technology, growth, those type of jobs. And then in 2016, I started looking at agriculture, primarily because the size of the community and the impact opportunity that it presents. And in 2016, there was a head start to make. Like, not much was happening in terms of agri-tech. And in 2016, I read this report, which said that by 2025, now we are in 2025, back 9 years back, it was saying that by 2025, major cities of India will be facing water scarcity. I did some research around this, found out that 80% of the groundwater consumption goes into irrigation. And if you put a micro irrigation system in place, the water consumption per acre can go down by a factor of 2. And the productivity yield can go up by a factor of 2. And there have been a lot of policy efforts to drive micro irrigation system adoption. But it was 4% back then, whatever my secondary research told me. And Niyati was just presenting some data. I took a note. So she says 83 lakh hectares is now under micro irrigation systems. That out of 21 crore hectares is still 4%. So we have really not moved a lot in terms of driving this imminent change that we must. So this is how I was looking at this. Being a computer science guy, I believed that maybe we can create a platform, a two-way communication channel with farmers, which helps us drive technological innovations faster in Indian agriculture. That's how this all started. So in 2016, I did some experiments to see if enough farmers are online. I didn't see too many encouraging signals, I'll say. But in 2017, after the launch of Jio, and suddenly rural internet penetration started taking off in India, this became a real opportunity. That now you can create a platform where you can connect farmers and build a two-way communication channel and drive technology adoption, drive change in Indian agriculture way faster. So that's how I started. I acknowledge the fact that I do not know ABC of agriculture, but I knew a thing or two about making apps and distributing apps and distributing content. So that's how it all started. I wrote my first blog about pig farming. I'm a vegetarian, but I wrote my first blog about pig farming, how how farmers can make sizable money out of pig farming, and how the demand is way more than the supply in case of pork. So this was September 2017, and ever since I've been working on the same objective, building this app called Krishi Network, which is now part of NinjaCart. And it is like we are building rails to farmers where all of your innovations, whatever you are thinking, anything that you want farmers to adopt, anything you want farmers to sign up to, you can leverage our platform, and we can help you get more sign-ups from farmers. And by design, we have only reached 5 million farmers. But by design, these farmers happen to be one of the progressive ones, basically. People who are already looking on internet to find solutions for their agricultural problems. So driving change adoption, driving technology adoption in this community, in this set of farmers, is relatively easier because they are already tech savvy, etc. So this is my journey. This is what we have done, and I'm so excited to see so many young people here from all across all parts of the country, and I'll be happy to interact with you further, to take any questions, share my learnings with you. Thank you.
Extending our heartfelt gratitude for your insightful observations. Thank you for making it so real that we could easily connect with your thoughts. It was great. Thank you, sir. We feel honored by the esteemed presence of Dr. Sarita Ahlawat with us today. Ma'am, being the co-founder of BotLab and Dynamics, we are excited that you will have a lot of engaging experiences to share with us. So waiting to hear from you. Welcome, ma'am.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So looks like Ashish has done half of my job. So I know you understand Hindi. I know you're from college. And he introduced that he does not know anything about agriculture, so am I. So मेरे को भी कुछ नहीं पता है. Though my both families, like my mother's side, father's side, are farmers. So my father is from Haryana, my mother is from Delhi, but from farming. So I kind of grew up knowing, and still I have nothing to do directly with agriculture, but though I feel honored to be among you and to be chosen. So I gave this disclaimer in the very beginning, कि आप मेरे को नहीं लो, I don't know. But they said you do drones, so you could be relevant for today's discussion. So I'll give you a little bit background about us, me, what we do. So I am Dr. Sarita Ahlawat. I did my PhD, postdoc, and masters in US, and I did lot of genetic engineering, and then came back to become a faculty at IIT Bombay, and then I ran into two very young, bright BTech graduate students from IIT Delhi, and they were building drones, and I always liked building hardware. And I think I'll come back to this issue of, I mean, you know, you are young leaders. In fact, आपके conference का नाम ही यही है, right? Viksit Bharat, young leaders, right? And we would like you to be leaders in thought and your work. And I thought, you know, we could share our story, so you maybe can find some similarities and take some points away from there. So we started our startup BotLab Dynamics in 2016 with the point of building drones for India. Why build drones for India, right? That is one big question, and many of you presented your ideas yesterday and you're building something or other. So first question तो पहले ही आता है ना कि करना ही क्यों है? घर भी बैठ सकते हैं. आजकल तो मम्मी पापा काफ़ी बना लेते हैं पैसे. And one reason is the reason for us, so, and for you also should be one, why you want to do something. And our why was very simple. When I was doing PhD, masters, a lot of hardware is not made in India or designed in India. That is my big why. अगर आप अभी भी देखो, आप अभी अपने बॉडी को देखो, how many technology you are wearing. You are wearing a smartphone, you are carrying a cell phone, you are carrying a laptop and any other device. तो अब just उसका source देखो कहाँ पे है. None of this technology, even this projector, TV, mic, lot of these technologies are not designed and built in India. ये was a big pain point that we had. And I don't need to remind you, India is the most populated country in the world, but still we depend for technology rest of places. So that was our why. When I was doing PhD, we were using these very expensive microscopes. And some of the microscopes, I don't know if you know, they run in crores, like 5 crore. I mean, IIT just bought 25 crores worth of microscopes for a small facility. So you can imagine how much money and job opportunities we are losing. So therefore, there is a dire need, not in just healthcare or research. Even for agriculture, you need technology to be built, whether in the form of platforms or in the form of hardware. That's a need of the hour, that we think about technological solutions, because the kind of population we carry, we really need help from technology. So with this idea, we started Bot Lab in 2016. It was only 3 of us, and we were building drones for defense, and we were the first one in the country to connect drones. So we connected 10 drones simultaneously, and we had them be run by a single computer. But typically, आप जब drone देखते हो, आपके दिमाग में आता है ना remote, पर हमने वो ही remove किया, and we connected them, we tested them in Pokhran. And I don't know how many of you know why Pokhran is famous. Do you know why Pokhran is famous? So हम लोग भी इसीलिए फंस गए वहाँ पे जाके. सोचा कि यार very reputed place, and right. So परमाणु परीक्षण was very successful. Our drones were not, because in Pokhran the temperature is very high and winds, and it's very harsh condition to operate drones, and that's where when we learnt that you can't assemble drones. A lot of time in India we do technology assembling, and then the lesson that we came back, that you have to build technology in order to gain expertise. So हमने आके drones को, we wanted to build a different application so that we can make money also. And आप लोगों ने काफ़ी startup ideas pitch किए हैं, पर startup का एक कठोर सत्य है कि ये hard है in terms of money, especially अब जब शुरू में होता है, nobody gives you money, or even when you have a good idea. So initial 3 years we were self-funding it, even though we were at IIT. And news में लगता है ना कि IIT में बहुत resources हैं, सब कुछ, it's so heavenly, right? And he can tell you he's from IIT Kharagpur, But so the idea, especially for initial stages, is going to be your own struggle. And that is why when you pitch this, you have to be very genuine about your idea. You have to really believe it, because the path is very hard, and if you're not committed, you're not very sincere, आप उसको sustain नहीं कर पाओगे. So हम 3 साल we really went bankrupt. We had no money left, and then we were looking at what can, especially after coming from Pokhran, and drones are expensive to build and do experimentation. And हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि यार how do, and the people who are fanatic about startup, and Ashish probably can give you his stories later, they don't think about anything else but making it successful, right Ashish? तो चाहे आप गरीब हो, मर रहे हो, बड़ा करोगे वो. And then हमने 2019 में we started expanding our swarm, and we thought अभी defense के लिए नहीं बना सकते, तो maybe for entertainment we do. So we replaced the camera with a light, and by 2021 we were flying more than 50 drones simultaneously. We were the first in the country to do that. And then Ministry of Defense saw our capability on LinkedIn, and they approached us. क्या 50 तो बना ले रहे हो, 1000 बना सकते हो क्या? So we said, sir, हो सकता है if you give us some help in terms of funding, because अभी kidney तो चली गई, lungs we can't lose, right? And then in Rashtrapati Bhavan we got the opportunity. They helped us with funding, And we, 2022, I don't know if you've had chance to see that beating retreat, 1,000 drones from India for the first time flew from Rashtrapati Bhavan. That video is still in YouTube somewhere. And thank you. And it was a hard journey, but what did we realize at that time? India became the 4th country to have such capability of flying 1,000 drones. And a year later, in 2023, we flew 3,500 drones simultaneously. And उससे भी हम world record नहीं बना. We became 2nd country in the world to have that capability. And I don't know if you can guess which will be the first country to have that place. Guess करो. I hear South Korea, Japan, China, anyone else? So एक तो mentality में change आ गया. When हम आपकी age के थे, every answer was USA, and now every answer is China. So it was China, still China. So we in this year, अभी नया साल आ गया ना, आदत नहीं गई. So I always think 2024. So 2024 March में we flew 5,500 drones, and at that time we made a world record. And not one, we made 5 world record. And who gave us the opportunity? Surprisingly, a wedding. Can you guess what wedding we are talking? So we were actually called by the Reliance family that the big event is happening in Jamnagar, and can you do something out of the world? So we said, yes, we have an idea. Again, we need what? What do we need? Funding. So they said, yes, yes. We are giving Rihanna 63 crores. तो आप तो थोड़ा आपको भी दे ही सकते हैं. तो and so we took the offer. It was hard because every time connecting more and more drones, it becomes a challenge. And I don't know if you can imagine 5,500 drones. They literally, the formation is like a half a kilometer, and you can see from 10 kilometers. And a team of 100 was there for a whole month. And उसके पहले 3 महीने से हम लोग तैयारी कर रहे थे. We made the world record, and guess what? Chinese saw it. They were not happy. So within a month, they broke our record with, you won't be able to guess a number, so I'll tell you, with 11,000 drones. Yes, but हम नहीं डरे हैं. हम लोग इस साल 12,000 उड़ाएंगे. So we are already getting ready. चाहे टूट जाए रिकॉर्ड, बट हमने एक बार फिर से बनाना है. So hopefully by July or September, we'll fly 12,000 drones and make yet another world record. But cut the story short, we started with 3, me, Tanmay, and Anuj, and now our team is 170 people, and most of them are engineers from all streams. Electrical, mechanical, CS, and also, so their vision is whatever money we make through these drone light shows, and they are now, we are leader in India, and also leader, I wouldn't say leader, but among the top 5 in the world. We have done business in Africa, Middle East, Sri Lanka. Today, actually, we have a drone show of 3,000 drones in Oman for the Sultan of Oman. And so this is, by the way, why I mentioned this. This project, we won against China. They were picking them, and we beat them in performance and price, and we were able to get this project. So now we have made presence, and a lot of the money that we made goes back into R&D. So we are not driving Mercedes or anything. I still came by metro. So the thing is, we are putting this money back in R&D, and it's coming back to the story where I started with you, that you have to be sincere with the problem statement that you're working on. The path may be very long, and the stage where India is, we really need to be thinking about going deep into whatever you do. Whether you're making an app or a platform, you have to, at the root of it, understand and stay with this, and your solution has to be unique. And a platform like this really is helpful. When we were starting the startup, the atmosphere in the country was not like what it is today. We did not have such platforms, and honestly, when we were pitching, I did not even know what is TAM, market size, and how to raise funds, because I'm hardcore academics, so are my founders. But that doesn't matter. How you present, a presentation bhi matter nahi karti hai. Even though, lot of times you are told ki ye hona chahiye, what you should have is your question, how you will solve it. Baki sab aa jata hai. Ki once you know, ye problem hai, ye mere ko solve karna hai. So on the way, you learn by participating in functions like this, talking to your friends, looking at other examples, how other people are doing. But fundamental to your dream is that you know what you're talking and lot in detail. And sooner or later, things will work out. So, we are very happy to discuss more in detail today, and we'll be happy to give you feedback. And I also want to end by saying there is no winner and loser. So if, you're supposed to meet the Prime Minister tomorrow, let's say only handful of you get the chance, but that doesn't mean jisko nahi mila wo piche hai. Ho sakta hai in long run, jisko nahi mila wohi billionaire hai. And I always say, it's true. When हम लोग IIT में थे, first 3 years, हमने कोई पैसा नहीं बनाया. इनफैक्ट पैसे डुबो ही रहे थे हम लोग. तो ऐसे हो गया था कि IIT में कोई हमसे बात ही नहीं करना चाहता था. बोलते थे कि they will not call us to any meeting or presentation. They thought कि we were these black sheep. And they'll always say कि Flipkart को देखो, उसको देखो. वैसे होता है ना, घर में बड़े भाई को देखो, इसको देखो, तुम नलायक हो. And they also wanted to throw us out. कि इन लोग ना ड्रोन बनाने रहते हैं, हार्डवेयर बना रहे हैं, इस कंट्री में हार्डवेयर तो बनता नहीं है. Why don't they do software? And I somehow feel jealous of Ashish that he found a software solution. We were stuck with the hardware. So our life was very hard. And software still you have a platform. जैसे SaaS based examples बहुत हैं. आपके पास Flipkart है, आप तो कितने सारे हैं ना. You have Zomato and all of those. Even like Razorpay, इतने सारे हैं fintech में. Large scale platforms, like huge, billions of dollars. But when you think about hardware, only now आपको लग रहा है कि there's some success with the Ather scooter that has come out, Ola scooter has come out, lot of EVs are now coming from startups. तो अब भी चीज़ें change हो रही है. But why I say this, and so that you tomorrow don't feel, and honestly I mean it, really I mean it. If you let yourself to be feeling down कि आपको chance नहीं मिला, really that will be not justice to yourself. हमारा example ये कि हमारे को 5 साल कोई पूछता भी नहीं था. But we kept working, our team, and because we knew जो हम कर रहे हैं, हम enjoy कर रहे हैं, it has a meaning, and that is your reward. And whether you get the presentation or award, these are really, and when you click, you'll click. I mean, like, this is funny. कि 5 साल तक हमें कोई नहीं पूछ रहा था, suddenly, and we did this secret project. तो जो राष्ट्रपति भवन में हो रहा था, nobody knew about it. In fact, we were not even allowed to tell our families कि हम ऐसा कुछ कर रहे हैं, because of the security reasons and all of that. And suddenly, when it comes on national TV, हम हैं, suddenly we are the favorite of IIT. Everybody wants to meet us and take a picture or something like that. So that's what I say. कि ऐसे कुछ है नहीं कि आज की success है, आज का failure है. I think in long run what matters is you, your work, and that's the biggest reward. बाकी सब चीज़ें honestly do not matter. With that, we are here, and thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving us a glance of your thrust area and making us feel connected by sharing your journey. Thank you so much. This discourse embodies the spirit of diversity and inclusivity of the nation's youth, bringing together participants from each and every state of the country. So up next, we are excited to announce that the floor is now open to discussion. Before we dive into the most anticipated open house deliberation, let me take you through a few guidelines in order to ensure a smooth and knowledgeable as well as engaging session for all. To maintain focus and minimize distractions, kindly set your mobile phones to silent mode during the discussion. Participants, please ensure a concise delivery of your questions or your thoughts, whatever it be. And remember not to direct questions that are unoriented towards the topic in question. Thank you for your cooperation as well. Now, young people, steer for a productive and inspiring session. You can shoot your questions, share your thoughts. You can get started. Yeah, volunteers, please take note of the people, and mics will reach you. Huh.
Good morning, sir and ma'am. My name is Namita and I am from Devbhoomi, Himachal Pradesh. I would like to say that यहाँ पर अभी हम सब जितने भी यहाँ पर युवा बैठे हैं, सबके अंदर एक एंथुजियाज़म है, एक चाह है विकसित भारत बनाने की, जो प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी सपना है. तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप लोग हमारे साथ इसके बाद भी कनेक्ट करें ताकि हम विकसित भारत के स्वप्न को पूरा कर सकें. और साथ ही मैं कुछ एग्जाम्पल देना चाहूँगी, जैसे भरत भूषण त्यागी जी हैं और हमारे डॉक्टर GVR हैं, जो एक विजनरी एग्रीकल्चर साइंटिस्ट है. उनके साथ और जो पॉलिसी मेकर्स हैं, उनके साथ मिलकर हम देश के लिए काम कर सकते हैं और एग्रीकल्चर में हम और ज़्यादा प्रोडक्टिविटी को एनहांस कर सकते हैं. और एक क्वेश्चन मैं पूछना चाहूँगी, क्योंकि मैं हिमाचल प्रदेश से हूँ और हिमाचल प्रदेश में आजकल पूरे वर्ल्ड में जो ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम है, क्लाइमेट चेंज है, वो बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है. सो आप कुछ सुजेशन देना चाहेंगे कि मैं अपने स्टेट में, हिमाचल प्रदेश में, अपने गांव में किस तरह से खेती को बढ़ावा दे सकती हूँ और क्या क्या मेजर्स मैं अपना सकती हूँ.
आपका नाम बताओगे?
नमिता मैम, नमिता फ्रॉम डिस्ट्रिक्ट कुल्लू, हिमाचल प्रदेश.
नमिता.
Yes ma'am.
All right. Lovely question, and I would say thank you so much for asking. And see, you are young people, and I always say कि ठीक है, we talk about winners and all of that, but I think, see, you have an opportunity to think something out of the blue. अभी the challenges are very many. As I said, you know, एक problem है, उसका solution आप ढूंढ सकते हैं, and you have a chance to even try different ideas for, you know, because being young you have that bandwidth of time. तो उसमें ये the question you asked is very deep, very deep, and it concerns your education generation and generation that concerns. And I always, I mean, you know, there is so much to said about this. If we don't take global warming seriously, we are literally committing a suicide. That it is a very serious problem, and then, you know, I'm glad you're thinking, your young generation is thinking, and in that, you know, how we consume, how much materialism, you know, we are thinking about, and there are a lot of documentaries. In fact, आप तो सारे young हो, Netflix पे एक series है, Buy Now. I seriously recommend that you watch it. It's really age appropriate for you. That, you know, when we talk about business and all of that, conservation is also a part of our life, and we are now getting very influenced by West, how we consume, and agriculture is not a solution to global warming, honestly. Sometimes agriculture contributes to global warming. I mean, look at Haryana. So I'll tell you, I talk by stories. So I was in Kota for a tender just few, I think Diwali के पहले था. I was there and I was coming by a train, and then so paddy, आपको पता है ना, एक problem है, air pollution दिल्ली में problem है, correct? And then it's a severe problem. Delhi is the most polluted city in the world. पहले Beijing होता था. China has solved its problem. They are not as polluted as us. And since I'm back in India for last 10 years, I see this conversation only like a conversation. Every winter we say pollution hai. And then I am coming back from Kota. I've never seen that paddy rice burning. पहले life में मैंने कभी नहीं देखा. तो morning में हम गए थे. It was a blue sky, and I come back same day. By 4 or 5, we were in the train, and there's a long journey from Kota. Here, khet after khet, there is this fire. अब खेत के बाद खेत, like इतना धुआं. But then I'm thinking ये कोटा है. Wait a minute, it's Rajasthan. You're not supposed to have rice here. Are we supposed to have rice in Rajasthan? Not possible. They have actually. They have rice paddy, rice उगा रहे हैं, and simple solution that they have. And I do not blame farmers at all, because everybody wants to make money. They also want to make money. So we can't patronize them. Solution has to come, but there is so much fire and there's so much that is happening. So agriculture is also contributing to global warming, air pollution. So we have to kind of holistically think. We have to think that this sector is also contributing to the problems of the modern world, and these are severe problems. How do we address it? And also by blaming one party or another, because अगर आप वहाँ पे farmers को बोल रहे हो कि they are contributing to, and then farmers in UP, by the way, farmers in Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab तो famous ही है इतने time से, so they are all contributing, and so is Delhi. Like 40% of air pollution every day is inbuilt ही है. So we can't put fingers against each other कि ये कर रहा है वो कर रहा है, but हम सभी कर रहे हैं, and only farming is a solution? No. I think it's a holistically हमें सबको मिल के ही देखना पड़ेगा as a community. And global warming is a much serious problem, much serious discussion. One solution that I think at personal level is consuming less. You really can't recycle whatever people say. A lot of things just are not recycled. In fact, Indian way of living was to recycle, and we had that style. Only now recently we have learned to kind of disassociate ourselves from that. So I think as a young people, I know we all get very influenced by society, TV, but one pran that you can make to yourself is consume less. I always say the solution to global warming is you consume less. You means all of us individually. We have to consume less. I know it's very tempting to wear new clothes, and cloth industry is the worst if you think of. So you at every level, if you make a decision that I'm going to consume less, definitely it will address the problem of global warming, certainly. We ought to, because your consumption is linked to every other industry. Sorry if I depressed you.
Okay.
So I'll just add a point here. You mentioned Padma Shri Bharat Bhushan Tyagi ji. And so if you have seen his videos, I met him. He's a very inspirational personality. I met him when I was just starting up in 2018. And you know what he said? One thing that really dawned upon me in that conversation. He said, if you ask, say, Punjab Agriculture University or PUSA, ICAR, and Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, if you go and ask these three people, three academia institutions, one question, that what is the ideal distance, plant to plant distance for growing, say, orange? All three of these will give you different answers. Okay. So the knowledge itself is not documented enough. The real practitioner, the farmer, and these three academia will give you different answer, and a farmer sitting in Abohar, Punjab, who is actually growing quinoa and all of that, he will give you very different answer, because he has learned from experiments. He grew at, say, 10 feet one time, 11 feet one time, and then now he knows the results. So that mission we also picked that, okay, it is about unlocking this knowledge which is with these real agri practitioners and make it available for the rest of the farmers. So that's what we are doing on the platform. And I had also attended one event conducted by HPCDP, Himachal Pradesh Crop Diversification Project. So the answer to your question, what can we do to build climate resilience? The first and foremost thing is we need to bring in diversification, crop diversification. Monocropping, so Mr. Bharat Bhushan Tyagi talks a lot about mixed cropping. He is dead against monocropping. So I think that's where we need to go. We need to build resilience by diversification, and academia, research bodies need to come up with more climate resilient varieties of crops.
Sir, I think one idea came to my mind. 15 अगस्त को प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लाल किला की प्राचीर से 5 प्रण दिए थे. उसमें एक प्रण था अपनी ट्रेडिशनल प्रैक्टिसेस पर गर्व करना. जैसे मैं हिमाचल प्रदेश के कुल्लू ज़िला से हूँ, और कहीं का भी जो क्लाइमेट होता है, वहाँ की खान पान की जो प्रैक्टिसेस होती है, और वहाँ पे वो लोग किस चीज़ की खेती करते हैं, ये क्लाइमेट पे डिपेंड करता है. और जैसे हमारे हिमाचल के कुल्लू में कुल्लवी टोपी पहनी जाती है, और ये बनती है ऊन से, जो मिलती है भेड़ से, और जो वहाँ के क्लाइमेट जोन में रहती है. तो मुझे लगता है कि हमें कल बोला गया है कि अपना ट्रेडिशनल पहनना है, तो हमें चाहिए कि हम पूरे भारत में यह भी करें कि वहाँ की जो ट्रेडिशनल ड्रेसेस है, क्योंकि उससे वहाँ के लोगों को रोज़गार भी मिलेगा. जब ऊन की खेती, मतलब ऊन वो लेंगे मतलब भेड़ से, तो ये भी एक सॉल्यूशन हो सकता है. और जैसे इसका ब्लैक कलर है, इसका कलर भी है, ये एब्जॉर्व करता है लाइट को, और इससे हमें हीट मिलती है, जो हिमाचल जैसे ठंडे इलाकों के लिए आवश्यक है. तो ये भी एक सॉल्यूशन हो सकता है सर.
Absolutely. At every level we need to put effort.
Yes,
this is about consumption, but ma'am also talked about. One is changing our consumption pattern, but solving production or thinking about how production will evolve with climate change, that is also a topic to think about.
Thank you so much, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. गुड मॉर्निंग मैम. मेरा नाम तुषार सिंह है और मैं राजस्थान से बिलोंग करता हूँ. मेरा सवाल ये है कि सर अभी प्रेजेंट में जो चाइना है वो 68% जो जीडीपी है वो केवल एग्रीकल्चर में रिसर्च से डेवलप करता है वो, जबकि इंडिया 37% करता है. ये ऐसा क्यों है? या तो हमारे पास ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं है रिसर्च के जो काम नहीं कर रहे, या ऐसे साइंटिस्ट नहीं है, या फंड्स वगैरह अवेलेबल नहीं है, ऐसा है क्यों?
Okay. That's a good question, and I'm not even sure whether I'm qualified enough to comment, but I will try. I'll say, whenever you will compare China to India, one huge difference that was in our approaches was we focused on higher education first. We built IITs, we built ICAR, we built IIMs. Higher education was our primary focus, whereas China took an approach of building up ground up, like their schools and everything. They put a lot more focus in, and that's how say primary education really flourished there, and that enables them to say drive change faster, because if you look at say illiteracy amongst farmer community, that is higher than the national average in India, which is sort of a blocker to drive change faster. China, with say continuous effort for last 40 years, but now their young adult population is say better equipped with technology than our lot.
A very good question. So, in something that China did right, as a part of agricultural productivity, is to understand the current problems of the climatic zones that the vast majority of the continent is resided in. So, one thing was they developed specific technological advancements for each particular crop that was indigenous to their country, made it their power, and became the largest exporter of those goods, which further drove incentivizations for people to take up agriculture. And like Ashish ji said about the primary education factors, if you go to Sichuan province in China, one of the assignments that they get before they turn 15 is to have a balcony garden of your own, plant a tree, take care of that sapling, ensure that it grows and bears a fruit, and for you to come and present it in front of the class to show how difficult it is to be a part of an agricultural ecosystem that feeds a country of that magnitude of the population. Before us, when they were the most populated nation on the planet, they predicted that the outcome of such population requires that demand for food shortage much before the rest of the world actually proceeded to. Combined with that, with low manufacturing costs that they have, extreme amounts of labor, better access to countries like Taiwan for semiconductor chips and technological advancements, they were better equipped in terms of taking on agricultural productivity. That is the reason why in lesser arable land in China, extreme temperatures, they are still able to grow a better quality of crop and also produce more, cut the demand shortage, still be the world's largest exporter, as per the FAO as well. So that's what China did right. And I think at this stage, probably in the next 5 to 6 years, India will be at that position to take on the world's largest exporter and actually go on to produce enough to not only cut the food shortage crisis, but also take on the roadmap to 2047 in a much, much better equipped manner.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is Sanjay Singh Rathod. I am from Badmer, Rajasthan. सर वर्तमान समय में मैं जवाहरलाल नेहरू कृषि विश्वविद्यालय जबलपुर में अध्ययनरत हूँ, BSc ऑनर्स एग्रीकल्चर। सर एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप से रिलेटेड सर आपसे सर थोड़ा सा गाइडेंस लेना था कि वर्तमान समय और फ्यूचर को सर ध्यान में रखते हुए हम किस प्रकार से एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योर्स में सर आगे कुछ अच्छा कर सकते हैं। सर प्लीज़ आप हमें गाइड करिए।
Broadly, I'll just say now farmers are online, they are coming on platforms, and the community is much more ready to accept change. I will just say this to anybody who is looking to do agri startups. I'll say pick very focused problems. Like say, when we talk about agriculture, we seldom talk about cattle, right? But that is like 30% of the agri GDP. So some startup say is just working on monitoring cattle health. So pick very specific problems. Agriculture is huge, like enormous. But I can tell you that somebody solving just for fish farming, that also is big enough market. So that's my 2 cents for you. Like pick very specific problems and be bold. Go all in and build.
Good morning, sir. Myself Pranav. I am from Rishiud University, Newton School of Technology, Sonipat, and I am a BTech CSI undergrad. I am in my first year. So मेरे को इम्प्लीमेंटेशन वाले पार्ट्स पे आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछना था, क्योंकि फार्मर्स का पहले तो ट्रस्ट गेन करना होता है, सो दैट दे ट्रस्ट योर प्लेटफॉर्म और योर सर्विस। मेरा सोल्यूशन इफ़ आई वांट टू शेयर इन 2 लाइन्स, जैसे कि मैम ने बोला क्लाइमेट चेंज को सीवियरली एड्रेस करना है। सो प्रिवेंटिंग क्लाइमेट चेंज इज़ वन थिंग, एंड गोइंग अलॉन्ग विथ क्लाइमेट चेंज रिफॉर्मिंग आवर साइकिल्स एंड पॉलिसीज इज़ अनदर थिंग। सो माई आइडिया इज बेस्ड ऑन दी हेंस, नॉट गोइंग अगेंस्ट बट विथ क्लाइमेट चेंज। सो बेसिकली जो IMD डेटा प्रिडिक्ट करता है वो फार्मर्स तक पहुंचाना है इन देयर ट्रेडिशनल अंडरस्टैंडिंग्स, जो भी वो समझते हैं, जैसे लूनर फेज फार्मिंग का सर ने एग्जांपल दिया। तो इसमें जैसे किसी भी चीज़ को लॉन्ग टर्म रन करने के लिए लक्ष्मी माता की ब्लेसिंग चाहिए होती है। तो बेसिकली रेवेन्यू जनरेशन पे अगर मैं और मेरे एक फ्रेंड का ये प्रोजेक्ट आइडिया था, कैपस्टोन प्रोजेक्ट आइडिया, हमने प्रेजेंट भी वही किया। तो हमने सोचा था कि वी विल इंटीग्रेट एंड फर्टिलाइजर एंड पेस्टिसाइड्स ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म इफ इन अ फार्मर वी गेन ट्रस्ट ऑफ इनफ फार्मर्स ऑन आवर प्लेटफॉर्म और थ्रू व्हाट्सएवर वी विल बी सर्विंग देम। सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि हमको सारा एक साथ परोस देना चाहिए, या फिर पहले एक जो हमारा मेन आइडिया है उसको ट्राई ऑन करें और देखें ट्रस्ट कितना बिल्डअप होता है, देन वी कम ऑन टू अ सेकेंड ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म फ्रॉम अ बिजनेस एंड सोसाइटल इम्पैक्ट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू?
So, see, I'll just say, don't be a Me Too business. If there are already businesses in any area which have scaled to a certain degree, I'll say find your niche. Think a smaller scale where you can do it sustainably, profitably, and then you can find the scale later. So when you say e-com, I'm sure if you did some research, it is very difficult to make it sustainable, profitable. And when you have, say, existing competition, like AgroStar, Gramophone, I'm sure you did your research. And now Reliance and Amazon also getting into the same. So, say, raising funds for a generic e-com platform will be difficult. But say, if you come up with something like, say, I will just sell mulching paper, okay, or I will just sell irrigation pumps, and then I have certain USP which gives me a right to win in that market. You need to think about your right to win, why you will win. So that's my take.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. I am Jnana Prasanna from Andhra Pradesh. I am currently pursuing third year BSc Honours Agriculture. So my question is that regarding Kisan Network, sir. So you have taken up, it is like completely about extension services. So all the state agriculture universities already has an extension system. I have seen it. So what was your idea? Like, already it was well established. There is a well established extension system. What was your idea to get come into the same thing? What are your plans and ideas?
So, do you know Doordarshan?
Yes.
DD Kisan was launched with an objective of the same objective, driving change adoption, technology adoption in farmers. Then there were some channels, some programs on All India Radio also. But did that really make the change happen at the rate we wanted? The answer is no. Internet presents, and the nature of these two broadcast platform is that you can only listen, you cannot ask, right? TV you can just consume, radio you can just consume, you cannot ask. With internet, now with this platform, now we have a two-way communication channel with farmers. So they can ask, we can answer, or we can say that you should do this. So essentially, we are not competing with academia. We are only enabling an enabling platform to take their research to farmers.
So can I add something? There is the system of agriculture officers, extension officers, wide network. So they do this, they go to the farmers, they talk it, they will guide the farmers what varieties should they use, what fertilizers should they use. So that is also a two-way interaction.
Correct, but say not real time. When farmer wants it, it is not available. He has to go somewhere, or right, convenience. Now in the world of Zepto and Blinkit, convenience is the currency. So by the way, right after this, on Monday, I'm going to IVRI, Indian Veterinary Research Institute. We are onboarding them on our platform. We are onboarding a lot of Krishi Vigyan Kendras on our platform. So all the extension officers, all the extension infrastructure which is already there, our role is only to create rails between connecting them to farmers. That's all we are doing.
One more idea, sir, for ma'am. Ma'am, you are working on drones. So I would like to say, whatever the drone is, as you already told, it is a bit costly. But in India, we know that 80% farmers are small and marginal. That is what our team has made a PPT yesterday to benefit those small and marginal farmers, because ultimately they are higher in number. So can you have any solution for giving drones at a cheaper price so that even small and marginal farmers can adopt it in their fields?
So actually, I don't know आप लोग कितना follow करते हो, तो agriculture में drone adaptation is happening fastest. So if you see, drone penetration has happened across India, south, north, even northeast. तो उसमें they are used for pesticide, mostly spray, and drones have become autonomous. And you're right, a typical drone for agri pesticide spray is in like 6 to 7 lakhs. If the cost for a farmer to buy. So but there are solutions. So there are a lot of subsidies. And if you see among drones, agri drones are growing the fastest. So the business model is, of course, farmers should not buy because it's a capex intensive. So there are subsidies from government, and also you can lend the drone to a village because drone works faster, and you can rent them, and rent is what very cheap now, like 100 rupees per square or whatever acre या जो भी है, is very cheap now. And why drone for spray, right? Because what we learnt is जब वो लोग ऐसे spray करते हैं with this, so there people, and they usually hire laboral unskilled people, they get a lot of skin diseases. In fact, it's very cheap to have somebody hired and they will spray like that, but उनको जो respiratory problems होते हैं, skin diseases होते हैं, and eventually it can lead to cancer. And also क्या रहता है कि आप जब manually कर रहे हो, you over spraying it, but drone में you can control the spray, you can actually control the amount of pesticides, because you know over pesticide has also a lot of problems. So so trust me, in agri, drone adaptation is happening at a very healthy rate. The industry, so I'll give you an example. अगर आप drone startups देखोगे इंडिया में, तो there are more than 400 drone startups, और उसमें से 50% से ज़्यादा agri है. So then you can imagine the amount of entrepreneurs taking drones to different part of, and they are doing really well.
Thank you.
नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार मैडम, मेरा नाम नितिन सिंह बारड़ है, मैं प्रथम ज्योतिर्लिंग सोमनाथ गुजरात से हूँ. मैं एक किसानी हूँ और साथ में मैंने बहुत सारे किसानों को मेरे साथ जोड़ के मैंने एक FPO यानी किसान उत्पादक संगठन का गहन भी किया है. बट मैडम, जहाँ हम विकसित भारत की बात कर रहे हैं, तो ये विकसित भारत जब होगा उसके किसान का मैं बात करूँ तो मैडम जो दाम पहले थे उससे वही दाम, अगर मेरे क्षेत्र में मूंगफली का ज़्यादा उत्पादन होता है तो वही दाम जब मूंगफली का है तब सोने का भी वही दाम था, लेकिन आज मूंगफली का दाम वही के वही है और सोने का दाम काफ़ी हाई हो गया है. तो मैडम, हम जैसे FPO बनाया है तो ये जो दाम है जो किसानों को मिलने चाहिए वो कैसे हम आगे ले जाए, क्योंकि मैडम वही पीनट है, वो अगर मार्केट में मेरे पास से कोई व्यापारी है वो 25 रुपये केजी ले जाता है, बट अगर मैं वही पीनट है वो मैं किसी शॉप से लेता हूँ तो वो मुझे 60, 50 या 70 में मिलता है. तो ये जो जनरेशन गैप, मतलब जो ये गैप है वो हम कैसे सुलझाए ताकि किसान का भी अच्छा हो और बाकी सबको भी अच्छा मिले. थैंक यू.
भाई आपका नाम क्या है?
नितिन सिंह बारड़.
नितिन सिंह बारड़, आपने FPO बनाया है, आप FPO के CEO?
जी सर, मैं डायरेक्टर हूँ.
भाई के लिए पहले तालियां बजाएं. तो आप वर्गीस कुरियन साहब को जानते हो?
जी सर.
हाँ,
अमूल
के स्टेट से थे.
जी सर.
उनने कुछ किया था, है ना, आप ही जैसा कुछ बड़ा किया था, उनने अमूल बनाया था. सो सी, जस्ट फॉर्मिंग द FPO इज नॉट इनफ, एंड योर क्वेश्चन इज अराउंड कमोडिटी प्राइसेस. कमोडिटी प्राइसेस, अब वही है, किसान को अन्नदाता बोलते हैं हम, फिर एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि भाई अन्नदाता गरीब बना रहे हैं, है ना कि ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं देंगे, अन्न दे दे फ्री में. बट द आंसर लाइज इन वैल्यू एडिशन. तुमने बोला 25 रुपये किलो मूंगफली बिक रही है, लेकिन पीनट बटर कितने रुपए किलो में बिक रहा है ना? तो कुरियन साहब ने भी ये किया था, है ना, वैल्यू एडिशन एंड एग्रीगेशन, है ना, जो सेम काम आपको करना है तो वहाँ कराओ. मूंगफली का तेल निकालो, पीनट बटर निकालो, ब्रांड बनाओ, ब्रांड बना के बेचो, और जो प्रॉफिट आए उसे शेयर करो अपने फार्मर्स के साथ. दैट्स व्हाट कुरियन साहब डिड एंड यू कैन आल्सो डू.
थैंक यू. धन्यवाद सर.
Hello sir. Namaste, my name is Gauri Ranade. I am from Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri and I am a postgraduate student in the discipline Agriculture Biotechnology. Actually my question is that a comic picture is frequently circulated that the research which is carried out is like river full of water, but when it comes that how much farmers are getting out of it, it is only few drops. So what are your views about that? That research is, we are having abundant research in agriculture, but farmers are not getting enough of it. So that is my question.
Can you repeat your question? I didn't get it.
Yes, sir. My question is that we are having abundant of research throughout the country, but the farmers are not getting enough of it. The result is not enough for the farmers. Like suicides are still going on, and the situation at ground zero is not very good. So about that, I wanted to ask.
Again, so drive change faster. And I think few people mentioned suicide thing. We need to do more in terms of enabling credit for agri supply chain. So, and things are happening. The current government has put a lot of efforts. Digital public infrastructure in India is something to be proud of. And we will build upon this. We will build more financial instruments to offer more security to farmers, I'm sure. And by 2047, I expect that we'll be having top of the world digital public infrastructure for farmers also. I want you guys to Google around these keywords. Farmer ID, Agri Stack, Vistar. Maybe note it down. These terms, so basically Agri Ministry is working on these platforms. This is on the lines of digital public. So maybe I'm not aware of this. But yeah, so some digital public infrastructure will be created, and hopefully we'll be able to offer better financial security to farmers.
Also, I want to add something, sir. We all know that at time of independence, we were having a farmer who is wearing a worn out or a torn clothes, but till 2047, we are wishing to have a farmer wearing a jeans and a smart farmer. But the thing is, for now, agri entrepreneurs are earning much more than the farmer, and it is not like all farmers can turn into agri entrepreneur. So we have to maintain the balance in the society, na.
So what is the difference between farmer and an agri entrepreneur? So let me take this question head on. Farmer is not an employee; he is a businessman. Okay, and he takes risk, and it is probably one of the highest risk business because climate is involved, right? Some hailstorm, something, highest risk business. So expecting fixed return in a high risk business just doesn't work. I mean, because the size of the community is so big, some politics gets into it, and that's how the expectation, that's where the expectations come. But at the end, farmers need to innovate, I'll say.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sania, and I'm from Jammu Kashmir. South Kashmir, okay. I've given my whole address. So I have a suggestion, a statement, and 2 questions. Okay. So first, the statement. So when you said, you clarified that you're not really agricultural experts, I would like to quote statistics that all of us, yesterday I just realized that almost around we are 100 of the participants, nearly around 30% of the participants are from agricultural background. Other than that, every other person is an engineer or an MBA student or something else. So it's fair only that you guys are here. So you don't need to worry about the fact that we are asking you agricultural questions. Okay, so second is a suggestion, sir, to you. One of my fellow participants just mentioned about the having the extension services. I don't know how many of you know that, but in the last year of BSc Agriculture, I am a master's student. I just finished my agriculture, and I'm in soil sciences now. What we have in last year is rural agricultural work experience. It's a project. We don't get to give our examination, but we are rather examined on this project. So the project is an extension service, sir. So we have heaps and pounds of data available with us, with the Agriculture University, sir. I can guarantee you that you will know each and everything about Kashmir and Kashmiri agriculture from those statistics. So you don't need to delve into research and development and, put your infrastructure or something like money onto it, because we already have it. And likewise, every state agriculture university has the data set. So in the final year, what we do is we go to the farmers, we collect the data from them. What is the row to row, distance? How much yield are they getting? What variety are they sowing? What practices are they, going for? And if there is any change, where they would, get the change from. So data is available. There is just this gap that you're trying to fill, and each and every person that is entering into the startup businesses just now trying to fill that gap. So it's just a suggestion. Maybe when you go to an veterinary institute, you should also sign up an MOU or something with every state agriculture university, so that they give you up the data, and then you can give them internship opportunities or something like that. So that's a suggestion. And then my question first for you, ma'am. When I speak about agriculture and agricultural dominance in India and women in agriculture, so we know that 40% of the workforce in agriculture is women, and around 33% of the laborers in agriculture are women. And I know it's not a fair question to ask you about agriculture, but then you're also in a field that is mainly dominated by males. So building and hardware and engineering and stuff. So while we talk about inclusivity and handling of drones and everything, and I would like to interlink it with agriculture. How do you think that you should, and companies like you, you as the co-founder, should be more inclusive for the women folk? So that's my question first.
Thank you, Tanya.
Sanya. Sanya, ma'am.
Sanya, okay, sorry. Here, before I get to your question, actually, I saw a lot of hands, and Ashish and we were talking. So we would actually like to address all of you one by one. And so that's why we decided only one of us will answer, not everybody pitching, so to reduce the time. So we really, and the reason is you guys are so bright, and I think you're much brighter than I was at your age. We would love to hear what you have to say. And since we are here, we would like to, if wherever we can help, we would love to help. And now coming back to your question, so you're very right. The gender bias in this country is quite a bit, and I'll give you some data. So yesterday I was at this robotics competition that happened for kids who are, I think, under 9th grade. And so in that competition, it's a pan-India competition, 5,000 students were participating. Guess the number of female students participating in that?
I would say marginal, ma'am.
Less than 4%. Yeah. And I was the judge, and it kind of broke the idea that I had that, new generation girls are taught math, and, they are put into, so that was very sad for me to, like, it was, thoda mere ko sadma hi lag gaya कि पैन इंडिया सैम्पलिंग हो रहा है एंड 4% इज एक्चुअली नॉट अ नंबर. तो यही नंबर आगे जाके ट्रांसलेट होने वाला है. तो नाउ लेट मी गिव यू अनदर नंबर. एट IIT वी हैव less than 20% women students for, and IIT is known for engineering, right? So उसमें अभी, I mean, we do have humanities, but it's a very small part. I think खड़गपुर में भी होगा, बहुत ही कम है, but majorly courses are in yes, STEM है. And then we had made a reservation. 20% भी इसलिए हो रहा है कि some years back 20% लाने के लिए extra girls के लिए reservation हुआ. And if you go to faculty, तो students 20% भरे जा रहे हैं because reservation किया गया है, encourage किया गया है. At faculty level, it's less than 10%. And I'll give you even more sad number. IITs, जो हमारा IIT Delhi है, it's more than 60 years old. And all the IITs pan India, आप history देख लो 60 साल की, not even one woman director you will see. तो ये तो फैक्ट है. अनफॉर्चुनेट है कि यंग से लेके ओल्ड तक women are represented less. And I'll give you my own personal example. Wherever I go for these presentation, fundraising, sometimes a lot of people confuse me for being the marketing head or the receptionist. A lot of time they tell me कि मैम किसी को बुला के लाओ, some expert can जो technically समझेगा, आप रहने दो. And तो ये है knowing this, and your life is, and of course there are biases, societal biases हैं, घर में भी struggle हैं. तो this is given, and we have to encourage, and in fact a lot of men also encourage, ऐसे नहीं है. And then it's a tough field for women because the society is still not fair to women. The expectation, especially, so I did PhD, right? So in PhD, you see कि BS, अगर आपने कभी newspaper पढ़ा हो, toppers are girls. 12th में, have you seen that? हर साल मैं पिछले कुछ 10 साल से पढ़ रही हूँ कि toppers की होती लड़कियाँ होती हैं, 10th में भी, 12th में भी, graduation में भी लड़कियाँ होती हैं. And then after masters, स्पेशली इन PhD स्टीप फॉल होता है, शादी हो जाती है एंड अदर कमिटमेंट स्टार्ट्स एंड आवर सोसाइटी, अभी आप फार्मर्स का ऐप की बात कर रहे हो एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, बट देर इज in our society we do not have a support system for working women. Like lot of expectation is कि आप घर भी संभालो और ऑफिस भी संभालो, and though men are picking up, तो थोड़ा स्पीड बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, all the men in the room have to kind if they want, and actually आप देखो कि what I do is 100% of my job I have to do, right, and घर पे भी 100% आप कैसे लगा सकते हो, तो you people need to pitch in, your family, your friends, and you know वो ecosystem like daycares हैं, all of that is needed and it's coming up, but pace अभी slow है, and society के norms भी आप कितना भी बोलो, कश्मीर में बोलो या फिर हरियाणा में बोलो, cities में बोलो, expectations are very different, especially after marriage, and lot of time women are seen कि वो masters इसलिए कर रही है कि husband अच्छा मिलेगा. I'm not joking.
or to escape
or to escape marriage. So you're doing masters and PhD, either the assumption that is given to girls is you find a better husband or you're escaping marriage. So ये सब biases तो हैं, but that doesn't, but a lot of things have also changed. There is a lot of encouragement happening, and I'm coming from a state called Haryana जहाँ पे women का तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा, but a lot of things even Haryana has changed now. The women are now encouraged for education and all of that. But knowing that, I think a lot of time people ask me these questions and honestly I don't like, because that's being stats part of it, but personally I haven't felt any bias. Like, you know, कई बार कोई बोलता है technical को लाओ, and then I say कि try me. And if you are not satisfied, I'll bring my co-founder.
Ma'am, my question was directed towards the inclusivity in these technologies, like the drones for women. Because हम जब भी हम कुछ बनाते हैं, the technology is made by man to make it accessible for a man. I would say that. Most of the things.
But ऐसे sorry, drone में ऐसे नहीं है. Drone दीदी करके एक प्रोग्राम है. अगर आप देखो तो उसमें the point of drone दीदी is, and these are not very educated women, farmers हैं. Thousands and lakhs of women are now getting trained. There are drone training institution only for women, run by women. I can tell you so many, by Daksha, and they also run for transgender. So a lot of inclusivity is already getting built, especially in drones. Now drone pilot women are more than men at a ground level, especially this program called Drone Didi and have really helped. So I would say that technology drone I can speak of, but only thing is कि बनाने में उतनी लड़कियां नहीं है, because है ही नहीं उतने engineers. अगर आपके engineers ही 10-20% है, उसमें से आप expect करो कि drone community में जो builders आएंगे 50% तो possible नहीं है, statistically possible नहीं है. But as a technology, drone is quite gender neutral, and but only I also see जैसे drone आपने शादी वादी में देखे होंगे, they fly DJI drone, उसमें lot of them the operator and men, and reason being कि शादियाँ late होती हैं, रात में हो रही हैं, तो I think the security concerns parents don't allow, and that is what I talked about, that society is not built for working women in late and, you know, traveling, field jobs, all of that, and I think that change has to come from home rather than, you know, somewhere else. If and I think a lot of examples you're seeing women are very successful because their families are supportive. And I have personally, honestly, even at IIT or even in ministries, I have not felt any bias against just because I'm a woman. But a lot of time, in a room full of men, I am the only female in the area that I work or in policies where I go. But उसमें वो they're very supportive. In fact, they encourage ही कर रहे होते हैं. So I think it's up to you and us that we take on and.
So then a small question, just a small question. I know we're running out of time. So sir, there is this app in Japan that connects the farmers directly with the people who want to buy their produce. So can we see something like that in India through your platform? Because when we talk about connecting farmers to the producers, to the consumers, to the person who wants to buy it, that's exactly what government intends to do. Cut the middle people. So can we see that through your platform? That's my question.
So when you say cut the middleman, okay, who is this middleman and what is his value add? So I'll just quickly talk about the journey of how food reaches our table, right? There's a farmer who grows. Then there's a Kachi Adat or the local commission agent guy who picks it, who aggregates from the village, makes a truckload, takes it to Mandi. From Mandi, if say production region and consumption region are different, say Nashik produces onion and I consume in Agra, so it will come to Agra Mandi, and then from Agra Mandi it will go to a mom and pop shop or some retail store, and from there I will buy it, right? And say the middleman we talked about, local commission agent, then the source mandi, and then the destination mandi. There's a role for everybody. Everybody is doing a value add. Somebody is doing aggregation, somebody is doing grading, sorting, storage, packaging, then somebody is doing transportation, and somebody is doing last mile logistics, right? So it is easier said than done, that cut the middleman. Okay. Japan is a very small country. Okay. So what works in Japan may not work in India. And one time one of my friend was growing, had grown carrot in just 2 acres. Okay. I'll tell you this. And he lives, his farm is like 30 kilometers from Gurgaon. I was in Gurgaon, so he asked my help in selling it. And that was the time first time I realized that just 2 acres of carrot, if he pulls out in one day and brings it to, say, Khansa Mandi in Gurgaon, all of Gurgaon cannot consume 2 acres of carrot. Just 2 acres of carrot. So a consumer is not a farmer's customer, because farmer grows one crop. A consumer needs assortment. I need 2 kilo aloo, आधा किलो प्याज, आधा किलो टमाटर, but farmer is not growing all of that, right? So there is a role for these middlemen, but can we bring in some efficiency, and with that efficiency can we expect farmer to earn more? Yes.
Correct. So that is the main issue why we are not eliminating those Aadhiyas and the middlemen. Also our farmers protested, this was the main point, that we don't want, we want the middlemen. So what government has to do is to basically ensure the farmers get the credit. So that is the main reason, I think.
So credit is one point, but even other value add is also there.
Yeah.
So credit is a huge point system. For sure.
Yeah.
Aadatyas are the informal lenders today, the biggest informal lenders today.
They have been since ages. So how to manage both the aspects, government need to check on that.
So I don't think eliminating these people should be the objective. They have a genuine role in the supply chain. Can we bring in some efficiency and which gives farmers more money? That's a different topic to talk about.
The policies that Blinkit and Zeptol, invisible stores, something like that. Maybe they can work there and find an alternative direction.
So yeah, Blinkit is buying directly from farmers. They are doing that.
Make integrated value chains involving women, secondary agriculture, everybody involving the farmers also, and middlemen could perform a role like storage capacities, they could provide that. So it will be a better supply chain mechanism. Maybe we could work on that. And also, sir, I would like to add, I'm a researcher and I'm doing it on citrus only, as you mentioned, Kinu. So if anytime you visit to CCS HAU Hisar, we are also doing that. Please contact us regarding if you need any data for that.
Sure. Hello, sir. I will not ask any questions. I will give some notice and one suggestion, sir. My name is Shivakumar, sir. I am from Telangana state. I am a social media influencer in the agriculture sector, sir. I worked I roamed the 10 states of India, 800 to 900 videos, 200 plus farmers interactions. I made the documentary. Now I have the 4 lakh followers in the agriculture sector, sir. I am so happy to hear with all my agricos. And I am also a young farmer, sir. I cultivated the 30 type of agriculture crops in open farming, shade net farming, paleo farming. So there is, I learned so many things from your questions. If you have any doubts and any any clarities in ground level, I have worked in so many themes in mushroom farming, dairy farming, and shade net farming, agriculture, organic farming. I have so many documentaries with live with farmers. If you have any things or any doubts and any clarification at ground level, please follow my Shiva Agri Clinic in all your Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So thank you so much, sir.
You are an agent of change.
Thank you. There is a gentle reminder. We will wind up in another 10 minutes, so we'll be taking 2 to 3 questions. I mind you, please address most relevant questions.
Good morning,
We are time bound.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, मेरा नाम लोकनाथ सेन है, मैं क्लास 11 का स्टूडेंट हूँ। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि अभी जो बिल्स आए हैं, फार्मिंग बिल्स लास्ट आए थे, उनमें जो प्राइवेट कंपनी जब आए तो प्रोटेस्ट हो गया। तो इसका कारण था इनसिक्योरिटी। तो अभी इनसिक्योरिटी है और जो फार्मर्स है उनके पास एजुकेशन नहीं है प्रॉपर एग्रीकल्चर का, और अगर वो मॉडर्न जो फार्मिंग को अपनाना भी चाहे तो उनके पास जो फाइनेंशियल उतना स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है उन सबको लाने के लिए। तो हम लोगों ने, हमारा टीम जो है, उन्होंने एक सोल्यूशन सोचा था कि गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज इस्टेब्लिश करेंगे। तो उनमें क्या होगा कि हम जो लैंड में यूज़ नहीं हो रहा है एग्रीकल्चर के लिए पर किया जा सकता है, एवं छोटे छोटे जो फार्मर्स है उनको एक साथ लाएंगे एवं लाकर एक एग्रीमेंट साइन करवाएंगे, 40-60 एग्रीमेंट। इसमें क्या होगा, जो कॉस्टली इक्विपमेंट्स है एवं जो सॉइल टेस्टिंग एंड मार्केटिंग जो भी होगा, स्टोरेज, प्रोसेसिंग, ये किया जाएगा गवर्नमेंट द्वारा, एवं जो फार्मिंग एवं लैंड होगा वो फार्मर का होगा, एवं वो जो ऑल जो प्रोसेस जो फार्मिंग किया जाएगा वो फार्मर के द्वारा किया जाएगा। इसमें क्या होगा कि 40% जो बेनिफिट जो प्रॉफिट होगा वो जाएगा गवर्नमेंट को, 60% फार्मर को, क्योंकि वो ज़मीन भी उनकी है और जो काम कर रहे हैं वही कर रहे हैं। तो इसको डेवलप करने के लिए क्या हो रहा है कि एग्रीकल्चर जो एक्सपर्ट है जो इनके लिए पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं उनको हम इन पर प्लेसमेंट देंगे, काम देंगे। इनकी वजह से क्या होगा, उन्हें भी एक काम मिलेगा, वो एक्सपर्ट्स गवर्नमेंट द्वारा हायर किए जाएंगे एवं वो प्रॉपरली उन्हें ट्रेनिंग देंगे कि हम कैसे उनमें काम कर सकते हैं, उन टेक्नोलॉजी को ला सकते हैं, और इक्विपमेंट्स गवर्नमेंट द्वारा दिया जाएगा। और गवर्नमेंट जो इक्विपमेंट्स वो जो हायर करेगी वो जो कंपनी से हायर करेगी डायरेक्टली। इसमें क्या होगा, जो मिडिलमैन वो नहीं रहेगा, मिडिलमैन से वो जो इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं रहने की वजह से। ओके सर, बोलिए।
Is there a question in the end?
है, यस सर। तो दिस इज कैन आई अप्लाई दिस इन दिस प्रोसेस, सो गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज आर एस्टेब्लिश, मतलब गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज क्या एस्टेब्लिश किया जा सकता है, ये आइडिया क्या इम्प्लीमेंट किया जा सकता है?
तुम्हारा आइडिया ट्राई तो करना ही चाहिए।
Yes.
और उसके बाद ही पता चलेगा चलेगा कि नहीं।
ओके सर।
Excuse me, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, here.
Okay, so
last question to ma'am.
Guys, एक मिनट, because अभी 10-15 मिनट ही बचे हैं. Just sorry, I was thinking and our mission was to get to all of you. So let's just do rapid fire. Do not explain us. Just say my question.
Ma'am, my question for you.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, basically you are talking about drone and drone technology in agriculture, but many companies like stakeholders who produce the fertilizers and fungicides, like all the chemicals related to agriculture, they don't standardize the doses for drones especially and for general application. So how farmer able to know that this is the dose specified for a drone to spray 1 acre of land and for a specific crop stage? Because in India generally farmers need a quick approach. They just go to market, they take the fertilizer and they just want to apply and get the result in quick. So how to solve this problem?
नहीं, जो भी एग्री में जो ड्रोन टेक स्टार्टअप्स हैं, they all actually are going by standards कि इतने एकड़ में इतना डालना है. So trust me, they are following those norms and in fact they end up doing precisely, and that's the whole point of precise agriculture, right? So that is happening already. And they take data from research and they consult the farmers, because farmers have experience of 30+ years. So it happens. So it's not drone is just a vehicle, but the knowledge is taken from the what it should be precisely. Ma'am,
good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Please go, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
आप गवर्नमेंट को क्या सजेस्ट करेंगे कि इसको रोके, रिस्ट्रिक्ट करें और अच्छा मतलब रेस्पेक्ट ग्रोइंग टू ए, बट आप एज ए इंडिविजुअल आप क्या सजेस्ट करेंगे?
I think efforts are already underway. Government is coming up with MSP for MSP coverage for more crops is happening. Government is pushing for millets. Various state level governments are pushing for crop diversification. Maybe some tweaks. If I have to make a suggestion, maybe some tweaks around water consumption should happen.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Kalpana Kunyal, and I am from Chamoli, Uttarakhand. Ma'am, as we are talking about advanced technologies like precision farming, etc. But जैसे पहाड़ है, वहाँ network problem बहुत ज़्यादा है और proper irrigation system नहीं है. तो मतलब ये बहुत easy नहीं है वहाँ कि हम advanced मतलब precision agriculture ये सब कर सकें. तो how we can enhance productivity there?
But why do you say it is not easy? An sprinkler system can work in any type of terrain, no?
Sir, like network problem है ना, जैसे हम sensors वगैरह use नहीं कर सकते.
हाँ, it is just for irrigation systems you only need energy. It is not like some electronics, some sensors you need, just energy. No? Correct.
Yeah, we'll be taking 3 more questions.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, please maintain the decorum. Yeah, one at a time.
As India has faced a complex issue for the societal cases, so what are the steps that address for the mental health that reduce the stigma? And if we need a counseling for that has the accessibility for the specifically tailored to the farmer.
So, I think more effort should be made. That's all I can say in terms of giving them some platform to seek help. So, but not enough efforts have been made so far. I can acknowledge that. Correct.
Good. Namaste, sir. My question is that how can we attract youth towards agriculture? What would be your answer? How can we attract youth towards?
It is already happening. I see all youth in agriculture, by the way. It is already happening. Just one fact I will add here.
Good morning, sir.
Please maintain the decorum.
Although India is a young country, but Indian farmers are not. Indian average age of a landowner in India is 50 plus, 54, yeah. And but soon there will be an inflection in this, and the age of an average farmer will start going down with all of you getting into agriculture, I hope.
Next question.
India is emerging as a large exporter of...
Please make your question concise.
India is emerging as a large exporter of dairy-based products and meat. One of the challenges that we encountered is regarding antibiotic residues in the product, which can hamper our export competitiveness. What do we need to plan technologically address this?
So we need to do, so say recently government has been making efforts. Near ports, we are creating these testing facilities, etc., which will enable what you are saying, residue-free produce, which can be exported. So government is already making efforts, and I'll say will happen with time.
Sir, actually, I
पहला आपके लिए
वो question नहीं था. That was a suggestion, right? Not a question. Question for me.
question, guys.
Good suggestion.
Yeah, thank you. That brings us to the end. I'm sorry. We have numerous questions coming up. Yeah, so I hope it was rather an engaging and resourceful discussion, even though we are moving time bound. I hope all of you are able to wrap creativity and innovative solutions out of the expertise of our domains. And now, as the curtain falls, but it's certain that the day's discourse has originally signaled a new dawn. So, on day 2 of Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue, the youth representatives among you, that's for tomorrow, will proudly present the collectively combined innovative solutions before the Prime Minister on enhancing agriculture productivity of the nation. So be proud about steering the big show tomorrow, being the ambassadors for discussing innovative solutions before the most honorable personality of our nation tomorrow in the big game. So I extend a heartfelt gratitude to the domain experts, Mr. Ashish Mishra and Dr. Sarida Ahlawat, for brainstorming more novel ideas on top of the ones presented by our mentors as brought forth by the youth. I also thank the distinguished mentors, Mr. Dishant Rajshekhar and Ms. Niyati Bajpai, for your contribution towards revolutionizing their ideas and guiding them throughout. My dear participants, your vibrance, your energy, you all brought the best to the floor. Now, you have made a bold statement that Bharat's youth is all set to revolutionize productivity in agriculture. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for being present. Thank you all. This brings us to the end of the session. I request all of you to proceed for the lunch. No, I'm sorry, let's remain. Thank you.
I think there's so many questions.
That's why they are very much in that rigorous mode of like so that you can hear them out and so so that we need to be calm down because we have other things also lined up.
Alright.
So we can always announce them that those who have questions they can interact informally. You are available at that venue. So that
Sounds
we can
good,
announce
sounds
them. After once they go for lunch, yeah. So at that time they can interact. Thank you, everybody.
I request all of you to be seated. We have another task to do. Please be seated. I request all the participants to be on the seats. Please leave our experts now. Please be on your seats now. We have to have a dry run. Please, everyone, be on your seat. Please maintain the decorum of the hall and be in your seats. Volunteers, please take up and make every participant sit. Please take up and make every participants to sit on his seats. All the volunteers, all the participants, you have been in this hall only. Don't leave the hall. We have a dry run. All the participants, be seated in the hall. Okay, participants, be alert. Now we have a dry run for tomorrow. Now what all of us will do, there are 10 volunteers standing at backside. What they will do, we will go to the hall 12A. Okay, you all will have a lunch there. Then after that, you all have to move to the grand plenary hall and be seated there according to your state. Do you understand what I say? Now at 1 p.m. all of us will move to the hall 12A where the lunch is there. Then after having lunch, all of you will go to grand plenary hall and be seated at your place. Okay, and this has to be done within an hour. This is a dry run for tomorrow. Are you getting me? Sorry? This is not yet decided. This will be, you will get to know in the evening only. The mentors and the experts will have a discussion and then this will disclose. Okay. We are making a dry run for tomorrow. We are testing that within 1 hour we have to have a lunch and go report in the... No, this is not dry run for that.
Okay, so what question is like?
One p.m. we will move to the hall 12A. Okay, volunteers, please take over. No, right now you have to sit. 1 p.m. means 1 p.m. Okay, we will go in the line of 2. Volunteers, please manage the crowd and you have to take them in line. We will go to hall 12A. They will have their lunch. Then after that, immediately proceed to the hall, grand plenary hall.